Yes, YouTube Dragonslayer here, and today we're talking calves. Now, whether you want a bigger set of calves to avoid the Johnny Bravo or spiral leg stigma, or whether you want stronger ankles or more ankle stability when under load, having a stronger set of calves is going to help you out. So, let's get on with it. Okay, so calves help stabilize the body in our heavy compound lifts such as deadlifts or squats, but it's also very active in single leg movements such as any lunge, Bulgarian split squats, or single leg deadlifts. That and any carries that we do day to day, such as farmers walk, suitcase farmers, yoke walk, things like Atlas stone, then the calves are going to be very active, though it makes sense exercising them through a full range of motion. Not that I'm saying every single exercise needs to be through a full range of motion for it to be effective, but all the things that I said before are predominantly stability and balance based, or only work, say, half the range of motion, which is fine, will still work, but to get better results or to get the most out of our calf training, we want to do an exercise through full range of motion. So no surprise, we're talking calf raises. Quick note I'd like to throw in there before I speak about calf raises is that carries is a very underutilized human function that is rarely trained. It's very effective total body exercise, and one of the benefits is that it's a great way to get extra volume in your calves. So if you're not already adding some form of carry to your workout routine, I highly recommend considering throwing some form of carry in there. Now, back to the calves. Okay then, so calf raises are pretty basic exercise. I'm going to quickly cover the anatomy of the calves and how best to train them. I'm going to cover the most common error that I see and how to execute the exercise most effective to build the calves. And I'm going to cover some time-saving techniques or ideas, because most people will either skip calves or don't want to spend all day in the gym exercising calves. This is not as interesting as the cooler, more sexy movements. So, without further ado, okay, so the anatomy of the calves is pretty basic. We've got two muscles that we're interested in, the gastrocnemius and the soleus. Now, the gastrocnemius is a biarticular muscle, which sounds fancy, but bi simply means two, like bicycle, two wheels, and articular or articulation is movement, or in Spanish, la articulación is the joint, which is helpful being as we're talking about movement at the joint. So the gastrocnemius has tendons that cover the knee, which means that it slightly helps with knee flexion. Not as much as the hamstrings, obviously, but does cross the knee, which is important. The soleus starts in the middle of the tibia and, of course, helps in plantar flexion or bringing the foot down, just like the gastrocnemius. Essentially, calf raises will exercise both, but to get the most out of your gastrocnemius standing, or if you do have access to a donkey calf raise machine, I would class this as extra standing or standing plus. So standing or standing plus exercises will emphasize the gastrocnemius more than the soleus, and bent leg calf raises take the gastroc out of its stretch position, which will emphasize the soleus muscle. And that's pretty much all you need to know in terms of how to exercise the soleus and how to exercise the gastroc. You have bent leg calf raises, which can be done at home or on a machine. And you have straight calf raises, which can be used at home or on a machine. The at the gym options should be pretty self-explanatory. If you're doing standing calf raises, you simply stand in the machine, put the weight stack on your shoulders and do your calf raises. And for the bent leg calf raises, you sit on the machine, put your knees under the pad and do your bent leg calf raises. When you are doing them away from the gym, or in the gym if your gym for some reason doesn't have calf equipment, then it can get a little bit more tricky. The standing calf raise is nice and simple. Just stand on a plate or a step or whatever's safe and secure. Please don't kill yourself. And if you need extra weight, you can simply hold a dumbbell. For the bent leg version, it looks a little more awkward, which, yes, this is much easier with a machine. So if you do have access to a machine, use it, obviously. But if you don't, you can still exercise your soleus. Like I said, calf raises are pretty simple, so there's not much to mess up. The biggest mistake that I see with calf raises is bouncing at the bottom. Now, if you participate in a sport where you need to protect your Achilles tendon from transitional movements or jumping around, then this kind of bouncing around plyo style training may be beneficial to you. But in terms of building stronger calves, it has no relevance. The Achilles tendon is the biggest and most powerful tendon in the body, or at least it should be, as it has to protect the body from itself when falling on the floor. So there's nothing wrong with it being strong, but if your goal is to strengthen your calves, then using the Achilles tendon to bounce out at the bottom of a rep isn't going to benefit your calves as much as doing the exercise with your own muscle. To counter this is pretty simple. All you need to do is stop at the bottom of every rep. You can pause. This will completely kill the stretch reflex. Stretch reflex is when you go down an exercise very quickly and then your body wants to naturally bounce back up. The muscle spindles and Golgi tendon organs want to bounce back to protect the body. This stretch reflex is good if you're about to jump, but as I said, you want your muscles to be doing the work here if you want to get the most out of them and get the most growth. So if you're doing faster reps, that's absolutely fine. If you want to be in the concentric portion of the lift more so than the eccentric, if you want to work on strength, you can do that, but I would still recommend stopping at the bottom of every rep. If you're doing more hypertrophy style, just solely want to grow the size of your calves, then slow on the way down, stopping, even including a pause if you want, and then going back up. You won't be able to lift as much weight, but you will be using your calf rather than bouncing and using your Achilles tendon. Now, like I said at the start of the video, calf training or calf raises isn't the sexiest training in the world, so adding things in like carries is a great way to get extra volume in the calves as well as total body exercise, which is a multitude of postural benefits as well as strength carryover to pretty much all lifts and everyday activities. But some ideas to quickly throw those calf raises in when warming up at the start of your workout. If you were doing something like a heavy compound deadlift, then you can do your calf raises whilst warming up, which at first may sound crazy, but trust me, your calves are not going to be so tired that you lose balance doing a deadlift. Same goes for the squat. Now, if your balance is compromised, then of course you wouldn't do this, but it shouldn't be an issue. If there's another exercise that you do that takes a long time to recover from, you can also throw calf raises in as a superset. Just make sure that, again, like I said, that the calf raises don't interfere with the exercise that you're doing. So long as they don't, that's fine. You can superset it with them. Another idea for if you are short on time is at the end of your workout, you can do something like the calf raises of death, where you simply go from one leg to the other until you hit your target reps. You could do one set of 100 reps on each leg, which will absolutely annihilate and destroy your calves in a very short space of time. Also, because of the versatility of calf training, you can do it anywhere. As I've just shown you the home options, you can do it at home on another day if you want to. Training your calves twice a week should be optimal. If you really want to bump it up, then 3 times a week or having an extra calf day, if you want, will help them grow even more. It's unlikely that you're going to overtrain your calves. In general, recommendations are 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week to be optimal for training. Now that depends on your training level. If you're a newbie to the gym, you don't need to do anywhere near that amount of volume to grow. But if you've been training for a while and your calves still are not growing, just steadily keep increasing the volume until you notice results. Don't forget though, that standing and bent leg calf raises are predominantly exercising 2 different muscles. Both the gastrocnemius and the soleus will be active in both types of calf raises, but one strongly emphasizes the other versus the other. So you'll need to do bent leg calf raises and some standing calf raises. You can do them on separate days, you can do them on the same day, whichever you prefer, whatever fits into your schedule. But if you want big calves, you need to work them. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that was useful. If it was rubbish, let me know. If it was good, then please feel free to comment, like, share the video. And like I said, if you thought it was crap, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.